This is Germany geographically, the luckiest country in all of Europe. To understand this, let's first zoom out and look at the entire map of Europe. If you check the per capita GDP map of European countries, you'll see that the further north you go, the wealthier the nations become. This is the first factor that has made Germany so economically prosperous. It is literally isolated from poverty. The poorest countries in Europe are located at its extreme shear in Spain and Portugal, then in Southern Europe, and finally in Eastern Europe. As you can see, Germany is far removed from all of that. But what makes Germany even more significant is its own territory. To the west, Germany borders France, Luxembourg, Belgium, and the Netherlands. This region alone accounts for over 4 trillion in the wealth generated across Europe. To the south, it borders Switzerland, the richest country in Europe, as well as Austria. Notably, it is also in close proximity to Liechtenstein and, most importantly, northern Italy, the richest and most developed region in that country. To the east, Germany meets the Czech Republic, specifically its western, and consequently richer, part, and it also borders Poland. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. Germany has an important connection to the North Sea. Off the eastern coast of the North Sea lies the United Kingdom, with its capital and most important city, London. Next, there's Norway, home to key cities such as Kristiansand and Bergen, and to its wealthiest city, Oslo, which is the capital. But Germany's good fortune doesn't stop there. Germany and Denmark are the only countries that have access to both the North Sea and the Baltic Sea simultaneously. The Baltic region is particularly significant, as it gives Germany access to the Gulf of Finland, where cities like Helsinki, Tallinn, and even St. Petersburg in Russia are located. These are the most important cities along that entire sea, and this was undoubtedly one of the main factors that made Germany a powerhouse. Today, the Human Development Index of each German region corresponds very closely to its territorial geography. The darker blue, the more developed the state. For example, the southern states like Baden-Württemberg, which borders Switzerland, and North Rhine-Westphalia, which borders Belgium and the Netherlands, are extremely well developed and wealthy. In addition, states such as Hamburg, Berlin, and Bremen are among the richest in all of Germany. Germany's economy, in turn, is based on two highly developed sectors: the service sector, which contributes 70% of GDP, and industry, which accounts for 29% of GDP. A major highlight is its massive industrial sector, which ranks among the most advanced in the world. We can compare the wealth generated in Germany annually with that produced throughout all of Africa, with one caveat. Germany produces twice as much wealth as the entire continent every year. All of this is due to producing at high volume with significant added value in a relatively small territory, so much so that agriculture accounts for only 1% of the country's wealth. Moreover, most of this export volume is shipped from ports located in the north of the country. Once again, German geography stands out in this regard. For instance, Hamburg's port, the most important in Germany's, located in the north-central part of the country rather than on the coast. This is thanks to the Elbe River, which brings the waters of the North Sea into Hamburg, making the city extremely favorable for development, as it lies inland and can connect more directly with Germany's major cities than if Hamburg were situated on the coast. The same goes for Bremen, the country's second most important port. The Weser River, slightly smaller than the Elbe, also empties into the North Sea, placing Bremen inland rather than on the coast. Another fluvial factor that immensely influences Germany's geography is the Rhine River, the most important river in all of Europe. It begins near Lake Zurich in Switzerland, follows the border between the two countries, and enters Germany at Basel city, situated at the intersection of France, Germany, and Switzerland. From there, it flows through western Germany, passing by major and prosperous cities such as Karlsruhe, Mannheim, Frankfurt, Cologne, and Düsseldorf. Finally, entering the Netherlands. This route is extremely important for Germany's development because it directly connects extremely wealthy cities, enabling the trade and movement of goods and people among the richest countries in Europe. The Rhine flows through key areas, including the Swiss region around Zurich, and also through present-day Gelderland, 3 of the 5 richest provinces in the Netherlands. In addition to the Rhine, The Elbe River connects Germany's interior to its coast, linking important cities along the way. Beyond its territorial advantages, the countries in Northern Europe enjoy a significant edge due to access to the vast European plainer region that stretches across Russia, Belarus, Poland, Germany, and several other European nations, and is extremely fertile. However, unlike other parts of the plain, the regions in Germany and Denmark have been even luckier, as they lie within the Germanic plain where the land is flat and gently rolling, unlike other areas of the plain that include mountainous regions. On this map, the darker the green, the flatter the region is. The enormous plain is found only in Germany, Denmark, Belgium, and the Netherlands. This extensive network of rivers and plains is ideal for development, not only for economic reasons, but also because, geographically speaking, mountainous regions tend to harbor the largest predators in Europe, such as bears and wolves. It might seem like this makes no difference, but in a less technologically advanced era during Germany's development, it certainly did. Moreover, because the countries in these regions are further north, they experience very cold winters, which means that fertile fields are blanketed with snow. While this might seem disadvantageous, the snow actually helps the fields by accumulating a great deal of organic matter during the winter, since little is produced during that season. When the snow melts, the soil becomes even more fertile. Of course, agriculture is no longer as crucial to Europe's economy as it once was, but throughout its history, it was an extremely important factor in development. In this way, Germany has been extraordinarily fortunate in the formation of its territory. There is no country in the world with land more conducive to wealth than Germany, thanks to its direct connections with the richest nations in Europe and its extensive network of rivers throughout its territory. Germany has become the most important country on the entire continent.